So today I've got for you Bertram Fiddle Episode 2, A Bleaker Predicklement, from Rumpus Animation. So first of all, I want to make clear that I'm coming into this franchise partway through. I never played the first episode of Bertram Fiddle, so there are perhaps a few nuances and references in here that were lost on me completely. The reason for that was, until I got granted a review copy of this one, I didn't even know the franchise existed. So a big thank you goes out to the devs and the publishing team for giving me the opportunity to play and review this game. So first of all, we'll cover the setting, which places us in a version of Victorian London to begin with, and then moves to another location later in the game. But the same time period, of course. Being a Kickstarter-funded interactive animation project, it's not an exact replica of Victorian London, obviously. There's no pretense here to pull off something like Assassin's Creed Syndicate, but as a point-and-click adventure as opposed to a sprawling open-world game. We start off with the intrepid adventuring star being a bit down on his luck when it comes to adventures, and he's working a humdrum job in a soap factory, but he quickly picks up the trail of something new.
Someone is calling. Hello?
Mr. Fuddle! Mr. Bertram Fuddle!
Yes, but it's actually Bertram Fiddle.
It's close enough, Mr. Fuddle. This is Mr. Dulsworth's mother. I'm calling you because I hear you have some detectivating experience.
Well, yes, I do have a certain reputation for sleuthfulness.
Very good. I need someone to do some investigating for me. And as I've been unable to get hold of the esteemed Mr. Holmes, you'll have to suffice.
Certainly, madam.
Let me be brief, Mr. Fiddle. My son has been acting most peculiar recently. Find out what he is up to and report back to my house immediately.
Good gracious. This seems like the beginning of an adventure. I must finish my work here as quickly as possible.
As you can see, the art of the game is really well presented, and it puts me in mind of cartoons from my childhood like The Wild Thornberrys or Are Real Monsters. It's definitely a series that I'd enjoy seeing as an actual cartoon. Are you listening, Netflix? The soundtrack is quite low-key, so that a lot of the time I just noticed it setting the ambience rather than being intrusive, and while being good, none of it's really stuck in my head, and it's not something I'd be rushing to download and listen to when I'm out and about. While we're on the subject of sound, it's probably a good time to start with my list of gripes with the game.
What a massive clock, but it has stopped working.
First off, and this is more of a personal taste thing, Bertram's voice. It's quite a shrill, poncy voice that would really grate on me during sections where I'd lost the dev's trail of logic and was doing the usual point-and-click adventure thing of using my entire inventory on everything until I figured out the next steps. Some lines of chat also seem to cut off a little prematurely. We're not talking Sonic Adventure 2 levels of characters talking over each other here, but the sudden stop at the end of a line of dialogue was quite jarring. Also, Gavin seriously overuses his "we have a saying in Peru" line to the point of it being a little annoying. There was also one glitch where Bertram was supposed to comment on what I was trying to do with a rock, but it had Gavin's voice instead, and this is one that comes up with a lot of games with subtitles. The subtitles sometimes didn't match the voiceover, but with that one I'm just being petty.
Well, they do say no news is good news.
Not from me, it ain't.
Now, I was playing this on the Switch, although it is available on Steam and iOS, and I found the cursor movement to be a little overly sensitive and twitchy. And I don't remember seeing an option to tweak this in the settings either.
Bertram, there is so little news to report upon nowadays. Since all those dreadful murderings stopped, I've had nothing to do.
The game claims to be inspired by Victorian novels, Hammer Horror and Monty Python, with that last one being very evident in the humour of the game. There are puns and wordplay everywhere. Lots of puns and wordplay. Some cringeworthy, some great. My personal favourite moment that made me laugh out loud was the name of a character being Lord Arthwipe. Yeah, that tickled me.
I wouldn't believe such a feat was possible. There's no way that I can scale that. It appears we've been given a free Steam key.
Despite the gripes that I've already mentioned, I did have a lot of fun with this game when I could follow what I was supposed to do. The art, humour and story definitely drew me in. You can currently pick up the pair for just over a £5 on iOS, and they're $12.58 on Steam, with this one being $8.99 and slightly cheaper on the Switch with episode 1 at a £5 and this priced at $7.19 at the time of recording. Basically, if you're intrigued from what I've shown and what I've said, I'd say grab them on iOS if you're going the budget route.
Me in my hour of need.
Think nothing of it, Fiddle. You need to disguise your appearance, Fiddle. Come into my parlour, said the spider to the fly. Ha 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 ha. Try one of those on for size. Oh, yes. That suits you. That really does. No one will recognize you now.
They're a little tight.
Would I recommend this though? Maybe. If you're after what's basically a silly animated Sherlock Holmes type game, then go for it. If you love point and click with British humour, go for it. Plenty of people must have thought it worth playing after the original, what with the Kickstarter hitting nearly 28,500 with just over 1,000 backers. They can't all have more money than sense, can they?
Feast your eyes on this.
As always guys, thanks for tuning in. Likes, dislikes, comments, you know what to do. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more from me, and if you want to support me in other ways, links are in the description.